Today I'll be showing you how to build a Chain of Dementia Master deck on a budget. So Chain of Dementia Master is a 5 mana, mono black legendary human minion. It's 3 power, 3 toughness. While it's in play, all nightmares get +1/+1, and you can pay 3 black mana and 3 life at instant speed to put target creature card from any graveyard into play under your control. That creature becomes black and is a nightmare in addition to its other creature types. And when Chainer leaves play, you exile all nightmares. So basically it's a mono black reanimator deck. Chainer's ability doesn't require that it taps, so as long as you've got the mana and the life to do so, you can do so like repeatedly in each turn. You can reanimate a creature, sacrifice it, reanimate it again, sacrifice it, reanimate it again. So we're going to be playing big creatures that can be cheated out, and we're going to be playing creatures with big enter the battlefield effects. We're really going to be making the most out of some mono black enter the battlefield effects, and we're going to be reanimating them as many times in a turn as we can. The main win cons of this deck are, like I said, basically repeatedly sacrificing and reanimating cards like Grey Merchant and Gakusha the Evening Star to drain your opponents of life. This is also good because you burn through your own life very quickly with this deck because you're paying 3 life each time you use it, but with cards like Grey Merchant and Gakusha you get that back easily. Another win con is to ramp up to Torment of Hellfire and just get like a massive Torment of Hellfire out. And the final win con is when all else fails, just reanimate a bunch of massive stuff from your opponent's graveyard and just hit them in the face with it over and over again. It's a classic, it works, it's fun. This deck's a lot of fun if you like mono black like me, if you like big creatures, if you like recurring enter the battlefield effects, and if you like sort of having a slightly different game each time, because since you can reanimate your opponent's creatures, that lets you have a massive amount of access to different creatures you can put in your deck, i.e. your opponent's creatures. So you're not just playing the same things every game, you've always got something new to try out. Last night I particularly enjoyed reanimating a Balefire Dragon with this and going red-black Nightmare Dragons, so that was fun. Speaking of which, I tested this last night, I built it yesterday, and when I was playing it, it went 8 wins, 1 loss at my local LGS, so this is definitely a tried and tested, powerful but relatively cheap deck, and it's a lot of fun to play. So let's dig in. Let's chin up. First we'll be looking at the creatures. Now there's a lot of sacrifice outlets in this deck, a lot of creatures that just let you sacrifice creatures to your graveyard, and that's because you want to be sacrificing many times a turn so you can reanimate them each time. So there's going to be a ton of sacrifice outlets. You generally don't want to play Chainer until you've got a sacrifice outlet in play, because if somebody goes to exile Chainer, you can sacrifice it in response and then reanimate it later with one of your animation spells, so you don't have to worry about command attack so much in this deck. So we've got Viscera Seer, that lets you sacrifice a creature to scry 1. Carrion Feeder lets you sacrifice a creature to power itself up. Drosshopper gives it flying until end of turn if you really need that. This is just a generic sack outlet, get stuff into your graveyard, you know. Bloodthrone Vampire, same deal, just get stuff into your graveyard. You really want to be sacrificing things and reanimating them as many times as possible in this deck. Your Henny, decent sack outlet, is 3 mana, but it's also a pretty good beater. Like late game once stuff starts dying, so like your board wipes and that, it can really power itself up, really get some good damage in there to finish your opponents off. Liliana Heretical Healer, an occasional win con of this deck, because you're sacrificing your own creatures a lot. It can quite easily flip Liliana into a Planeswalker side. If you can do that and you go Ultimate with Liliana, where you get an emblem with whenever something dies it comes back under your control on the end step, you win the game so fast once that happens. So this is an alternate win con, it's also just fun. I got it for Christmas, I wanted to use it in the deck. Same reason I played Grizzlebrad in here, I'm just kidding. There's no Grizzlebrad. Cryptorats, it's a reanimatable board wipe for if your opponents are playing like tokens, for example, or if you just really need to clear the board at any time. It's a board wipe, you can reanimate it later, you can use it again, it's cool. Grim Haruspex, it's a 3/2 for 3 mana, and when another non-token creature you control dies, you draw a card. This draws you a lot of cards because you're very often going to be sacrificing your own stuff, and Chainer doesn't make token copies, it actually brings them into play, so this works very well with Chainer's ability and attack outlet. As always, because it's mono black, we've got Merciless Executioner, Fleshbag Marauder and Slum Reaper. Excellent cards for taking out Voltron decks. You got Solemn Sim for just classic mono black ramp and a bit of card draw, especially good with Chainer because you can repeatedly get the effect. Cryptghast, you need a lot of mana in this deck because it's triple black to use its ability even once, so Cryptghast is a big part of that. Gonti, Lord of Luxury. When it comes in, you steal a card from your opponent's library and you can cast it as though it were your own, basically. This used to be the commander of the deck until I realised it wasn't very strong as a commander, but it is a lot of fun. If you can get this out 3 or 4 times a turn, you're going to be getting a ton of card advantage from it, and it's just a great card to play. Twilight Prophet. It's a 2/4 with flying. When you've got the City's Blessing, at the beginning of your upkeep, you reveal the top card of your library, drain every one for its converted mana cost, put it into your hand, and then draw for normal. So it's a lot of card advantage. It can be good to sort of drain out the last of your opponent's life in the late game if they've built up a good board presence and you can't swing through. It also helps you to get your life back when you've been using up Chainer's ability a lot, because you're going to be draining your own life a lot, so it's good to have life gain effects in this deck. Ravenous Chupacabra, absolutely insane in this deck. If you've got Chainer, you go 3 mana, reanimate it, kill something at instant speed, and then you can sack it again. Chainer, 3 mana, reanimate it, kill something at instant speed, sack it again. As long as you have this in your graveyard and 3 mana open, nobody is going to be swinging the big creatures at you, because you're just going to reanimate it and destroy whatever you want. And then, once that creature's dead, you can just reanimate it with Chainer. It's insane. Definitely one of the most useful cards in this deck. Magus of the Coffers. It's essentially a Cabal Coffers for poor people, basically. But it's reanimatable. Again, you need a lot of mana to repeatedly use Chainer's ability, so this can be very useful later on. Sidisi, Undead Vizier. It's a reanimatable board wipe. You bring it in, sack it to tutor. Then you go Chainer. Alright, 3 mana, bring it back in, sack it to tutor. 3 mana, sack it, tutor. It just lets you tutor so many cards if nobody does anything about this. Sadistic Hypnotist, another sack artwork, which is excellent. You sacrifice a creature, target player discards 2 cards, and then obviously you can reanimate either the creature you sacrificed or the creature that was discarded, if your opponent discarded the creature, with Chainer. Grey Merchant of Asphodel, as I said, one of the main win conditions is to bring this in repeatedly, sack it, reanimate it, sack it, reanimate it. Each time, if you've got Chainer out, you're going to be draining everyone for at least 4 life, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're doing that 3 or 4 times a turn, it gets very daft very quickly. This is probably the main win condition of the deck. Noxious Gearhulk, 5/4 menace. When it comes in, you destroy a creature an opponent controls and gain some life. Useful for instant speed control with Chainer, and useful for getting the life back that you've spent to use Chainer's ability. Very useful card. Also a big 5/4 beater. Yeah, always good. Necropolis Region. This is 6 mana, 6/5 flying. When a creature you control, including itself, deals combat damage to a player, put that many +1/+1 counters on it. This is largely in there because I like the artwork, but it's also just a really fun beater card. Like, if this hits someone once, it becomes 12/11 with flying. That keeps powering itself up. If you can hit someone a couple of times with this, you can kill them very quickly. And if it dies, no big deal, you just reanimate it and go again. So this can be a very powerful card. Harvester of Souls, 6 mana 5/5 Death Touch. Whenever another non-token creature dies, you may draw a card. Similar to Grim Haruspex, a lot of your own stuff's going to be dying, so you'll get a lot of value off this. And a lot of your opponent's creatures are going to be dying too, because you're going to be killing them with stuff like Noxious Gearhulk. So this can draw you a lot of cards very quickly. And no one wants to block it, so it's good. Kakusha, the Evening Star, the other main win con in this deck. 5/5 flying. When it dies, each opponent loses 5. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. In a 4-man game, you gain 15 life, everyone else loses a big chunk of life. If you do this a couple of times in a turn, for a couple of turns, it's just a win con on its own with Chainer and the sack outlet. If no one can stop this, it just ends the game. It's insane. Overseer of the Damned, 7 mana 5/5 fire. When it comes in, destroy a target creature. When a non-token creature an opponent controls dies, create a 2/2 zombie. This is mainly for the first ability, similar to Ravenous Chupacabra or Ravenous Gearhulk? Noxious Gearhulk. When it comes in, you just destroy a creature, you sack it, you reanimate it with Chainer. If this is in your graveyard, you've got a 3 mana instant speed, destroy a target creature whenever you want. It's very useful. Butcher of Malka, 5/4 for a Grave Pact effect. I cannot afford a Grave Pact, but this is fine because it's a reanimatable Grave Pact. So if somebody gets rid of it, you just reanimate it. You're going to be sacking a lot of creatures, so you can very easily control the board with this. Just absolutely shut down your opponent's board and swing in for the win. It's great fun for you, not for anybody else, but that's fine. Shieldred Whispering One, again quite an expensive card, but an absolutely insane creature. Runescarred Demon, 6/6 fire. When you reanimate it, when it comes in, you tutor a card. Like Sidisi, this is basically, with trainers, this 3 mana instant speed, tutor up a card. But you also get 6/6 out of it, so it's nice. And finally, Kura Pit Lord. This isn't actually a great card, I just really like it. It's a 9/9, you can pay 1 life to give a creature -1/-1 until end of turn, and at the beginning of your upkeep, sack it unless you pay 4. And that's it for the creatures. Let's move on to the instants. There's only 2 instants in this deck, and they are mono black staples. We've got Go for the Throat, destroy target non-artifact creature for 2 mana, and Hero's Downfall, destroy target creature or planeswalker for 3 mana. These are amazing in mono black. Instant speed just shuts something down. It's good if you don't have Chainer and you don't have access to something that destroys creatures. Onto the sorceries, we've got Night's Whisper and Signing Blood. Each of these basically say 2 mana, you draw 2 cards and lose to life. Signing Blood can target an opponent, so I mean, a couple of times my opponent's been on 2 life and I've gone, alright, Signing Blood, kill you. It's hilarious, it feels amazing. But yeah, basically these are just 2 mana, 2 life, 2 cards. Good cards for card advantage. Torment of Hellfire, obviously this never actually costs 2 mana, but this is X and double black. Repeat the following process X times. Each opponent loses 3 life unless that player sacks a non-land permanent or discards a card. Read the Bones, 3 mana, sorcery, scry 2, draw 2, lose 2. It's decent for card advantage, lets you dig through your deck for, you know, removal spell, or a win con, or just a big creature, or just some lands if you're not getting any lands. Just gets you what you're after. So this 6 Sacrament, now this is a fun card. This is 3 mana, basically exile 3 cards of your choice from target player's library, but you can kick it for 7 mana and exile 15. So this is basically 10 mana, go through your opponent's library, exile 15 of the best cards, watch them die inside. If you hit somebody with this, they are out of the game unless they already have astonishing board presence. No one will want you to play this against them, so be careful about who you play this against, because they will no longer be your friend. Toxic Deluge, again quite an expensive card, but absolutely astonishing. 3 mana sorcery, additional cost, pay any amount of life. All creatures get -X until end of turn. It's a 3 mana board wipe, you don't need to worry about the loss of life. You've got loads of life drain effects in this. It's awesome, play it if you can afford it. Dread Return just lets you reanimate Chainer, because Chainer's going to be getting targeted a lot. So if somebody goes to remove Chainer, you sacrifice it in response, put it in your graveyard, then you use a card like Dread Return to bring it back in, you don't have to worry about command attacks. Mutilate, another board wipe for 4 mana, which is solid. It's mono black, so you're always going to have a lot of swamps out, so yeah. Diabolic Tutor, 4 mana, just tutor whatever card you want. Decent card. It's no demonic tutor, but I cannot afford a demonic tutor. Crux of Fate, 5 mana, destroy all dragons or destroy all non-dragons. You're mostly going to want to be destroying non-dragons. It's basically a 5 mana board wipe. It's a nice cheap card, it's about 50 pence, so play it in your deck, it's good. Living Death. Now this basically says everyone sacrifices all the creatures and reanimates all their other creatures. Ever After, 6 mana, reanimate up to 2 creatures from your graveyard and put Ever After on the bottom of your library. This is just a decent reanimation spell, it's not amazing, but it's a budget deck. Toxic Deluge, it's a cheap reanimation spell. It's good, you know. Repay in Kind. Now you're going to be losing a lot of life in this game, partly from paying 3 life each time you use Chainer's ability, partly from everyone swinging at you because you keep reanimating a tutor every turn. So once you're down to about 5 or 6 life, you go, okay, I'll tutor up this Repay in Kind. Everyone else goes down to 5 or 6 life. I play 1 Grey Merchant, everyone dies. Decree of Pain, 8 mana, destroy all creatures that can't be regenerated. Draw a card for each creature destroyed this way. Or you can cycle it for 5 mana, and when you do, each creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Rise of the Dark Realms, 9 mana, put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. This can just win games. If you're tutoring for something in the late game, it's going to be either this or Repay in Kind. Onto the artifacts, you've got Standard Soul Ring, always good in EDH. Skull Camp, you're going to be killing off a lot of your own creatures, so you're going to be drawing a lot of cards off this. Sword of the Animist, not an amazing card because there's not that many low mana creatures, but you need all the ramp you can get in this deck and it's mono black, so this is a decent option. Nim Deathmantle, this essentially says when a creature you control dies you can pay 4 to bring it back in. This is insane with a lot of sack outlets, especially with Ashland's Altar. Altar of Dementia, sack a creature, have someone mill cards, you can mill yourself, you can mill your opponent, you can reanimate those creatures from Trainer. Spawning Pit, generic sack outlet basically. Ashnod's Altar, sack something for 2 mana. Blasting Station, sacrifice something to deal 1 damage to a creature or player. 1 Power Stone, decent bit of ramp. Burnished Heart, another decent bit of ramp. Cauldron of Souls, tap it to give any number of target creatures persistence on end of turn, so you can sacrifice something and it comes back in, get double the end of the battlefield effects. Phyrexian Reclamation, we're on some enchantments. Phyrexian Reclamation, 2 mana, paid 2 life. Put a creature from your graveyard into your hand. This is very useful if your Chainer keeps getting removed. This is an alternate Chainer, sort of. Animate Dead, you animate something that's dead. Call the Bloodline, 1 mana, discard a card, create a 1/1 black Vampire Knight with lifelink. This is just a discard outlet. If you've got like a Kuro Pit Lord or a Runescar Demon in your hand, get into your graveyard, reanimate it. Phyrexian Arena, really nice card draw. Mind Slash, 3 mana, pay a black and sacrifice creature to have an opponent reveal the hand. You choose a card from it, they discard it. If it's a creature, you can reanimate it later with Chainer. Black Market, you're going to be killing off a lot of stuff, so this generates mana very quickly for Chainer's ability or for Torment of Hellfire. Okay, on to the lands. So the land base is 35 swamps, some full art, some not, which drives me insane when I'm playing. I'm going to have to default out all this. The only non-basic land is a Gay Reach Sanitarium, which this deck is so budget, I found this card on the pavement outside my LGS, which is why it's in this condition. But yeah, it taps for colourless, or you can use it to have everybody draw a card and discard a card. Again, just a discard outlet. You know, if you or your opponents discard creatures, you can reanimate them with Chainer. Other than that, yeah, it's just basic swamps. I am going to get a Cabal Stronghold for this when it comes out in Dominaria, but yeah, for now the land base is very simple, very cheap financially. Okay, so that's the deck. I hope you've enjoyed watching this Decklist video. I hope it's given you some ideas for a deck. Maybe you'll want to build a deck similar to this. Maybe you've got some more ideas for how the deck could be edited. That's always going to be useful for me. So yeah, let me know what you think of the deck. Let me know what you think of the video. If you enjoyed the video, you know, you might want to subscribe to the channel. And yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye.